The real estate market in 2022, I think we all can agree, has been a little weird. But in my opinion, there's no better time to go out and start your very own short-term rental real estate investing business. With the interest rate hikes that we've seen from the Fed in 2022, values have skyrocketed, buyers have disappeared, so it really has eliminated a lot of strategies like flips, and the rental market has not quite kept up with the values and interest rates that we've seen increase over the last year. So what strategies can we use to go out and continue to invest in real estate? The answer, in my opinion, is short-term rentals. That's right, Airbnbs, VRBOs, let's go out and get them done. But how do you start an Airbnb business if you don't have any cash or any credit, and if you're just getting into real estate investing yourself? That's okay, because I did it 10 years ago, right after the 2008 crash. And what I realized is there is a strategy for every market condition. And in my opinion, the strategy right now is to go out and do short-term rentals. They are high-yield cash flow assets that will continue to produce even though the values and interest rates are inflated at the moment. Now, what do you need to be able to go out and do that? It starts with a wealthy mindset. The first thing you need is to understand that the only way you're going to become wealthy doing this is at scale. So you've got to organize your business and your business plan around the idea that you're not just going to do one of them. You want to go out and do as many as you can. So that's tip number one, is build your business plan to make sure that you have scale built into that. If you're using your own time and your own money and your own credit, you are going to run out of resources very quickly, maybe after 1 or 2. But you know what? No one becomes wealthy and no one builds retirement money off of 1 or 2 investment properties. You're gonna wanna go out and do dozens. So make sure that you set yourself up in a way that you're gonna be able to go out and get those done. Here's the first thing that I suggest doing to make sure that you're able to scale this, which is tip number 2. Make sure that you stay in the mindset of an investor. You should be finding the properties, funding the properties, making sure that you have everything in place to make sure that that property cash flows, and then move on to finding, funding, and setting up the next property. Don't get in the trap of becoming your own property manager. An investor is not a property manager. Just like in the fix and flip business, an investor is not a contractor. They are not the same things. A contractor is a contractor. Investors hire contractors. In the rental game, whether that's short-term rentals or long-term rentals, an investor is not a landlord. An investor is not a property manager. An investor hires property managers. So part of what you're gonna be doing as you're setting up your short-term rental game plan is going out and interviewing short-term rental property managers to find the person or the company that's going to be a fantastic fit for your business model. Tip number 3, make sure you educate yourself around the idea of seller finance. Many of my students start with no money at all, and that's where I started. With no money in my pocket, with no credit to be able to go out and buy a property. What I did gain though was knowledge. I found a coach and an education platform where I learned how to go out and find seller finance deals. Now, what's a seller finance deal? That's a deal where the seller is willing to sell you their house immediately for payments over time, rather than a lump sum up front. It's an amazing strategy, and I highly suggest that you learn more around it. In fact, I've got some videos that me and Maylee recorded, and I'm gonna put them in the description below so you can get a little more familiar with that seller finance strategy. Tip number 4. What about the money that you're going to need in order to buy furniture for the property, to stock the property with the perishable items that people are going to use while they're staying in your Airbnb, and the other expenses that go along with just simply owning a property? Well, that's a really good question. Just like using seller finance, if you don't have credit to go out and purchase a property, you're gonna need some cash. And if you don't have that cash yourself, a great way to do that is to find a partner. Now, I've talked about this in other videos, and again, I'm gonna be putting a link to some of the videos in the description, but the best way to do that is to write up your deal in a professional way, showing the math of how your partner and you will make money as you go out and execute this deal. That means you have to be good at finding deals. Get out there and start doing those deals. Do the math, starting with what the monthly payment on the mortgage is going to be and working backwards. What are your costs? What is your cash flow gonna be? Look at Airbnb and see other comparables in the area. See what kind of revenue they bring in and make sure that that deal is going to be profitable. If it is, put it in a nice professional document. You can use a word processor or you can use some deal analysis software that's available out there on the internet. But make sure you have that deal written up in a professional way that you can present to a potential partner who has the cash. You have the deal. Sounds like a great partnership to me. Let's go get it done. And finally, tip number 5, make sure that you have an entity in place. This is going to protect the asset, the property that you're purchasing. It's also going to protect you from things that might happen at the property while you have tenants staying there. So make sure that you have an entity in place for asset protection. It's also going to give you some tax advantages. Now, I'm not an accountant or an attorney, so I can't give you direct legal advice. Make sure that you seek out those professionals as you start building your business plan to go out and start a successful Airbnb business. Keep in mind that as you're using an attorney to set up that entity, the operating agreement is the most important part, especially if you have a partner. Don't make the mistake of just going to the state and filling out the articles of incorporation and paying this $50 or $70 or whatever it is. That does not protect you. The operating agreement, which is written by an attorney, is what protects you inside of that business that you're setting up. So don't scrimp. You get what you pay for. Make sure that you pay an attorney to write a bulletproof operating agreement for your business. And remember to continue to educate yourself around these principles. Education and knowledge is what mitigates risk, and real estate investing can be risky if you don't know what you're doing. Now, I get that I've only scratched the surface on this strategy in this video, but I would like to go into great detail and teach you the exact formula for how to start your own Airbnb and short-term rental business. This is the best way that I know how to start building that knowledge, and to help you get started, we're offering a free strategy call with me, Maylee, or a member of our elite coaching staff. All you have to do is go to flippin.education in your web browser, or click the link in the description below to get your strategy call for free. I want to dive deeper into this topic with you, and I have a full fleshed out strategy to share with you, but it's way too much for me to share on YouTube. But this is why we've opened up our time and our coaching staff for this free strategy call, specifically for you, so that you can start learning this entire thing, and so that you can go start making money in real estate without using your own cash or credit. That's flippin.education. Get there today. I just want to make sure that you have all the tools and all of the resources and knowledge that you need to be successful. And until next time, I'll see you on the flip side.